Hello, Cs. Welcome back to the Other Side of Dreams podcast. I am your sister, walking with you through the seasons of reinventions and growth. I'm still on the journey too, but I've walked far enough to see what is possible. This is where midlife women rise, rediscover purpose, and build what's next. And if I can do it, so you can. Quick housekeeping. What I'm sharing here is from my life experiences and what I've learned along the way. This is not a therapy. And if you need help, please seek a professional support when you need it. Hello, sis. Before we start, I want you to know this. You don't need to take notes, and you don't need to fix anything today. Just let yourself be here. This episode is not here to scare you, it's here to name something many women carry quietly. And finally, say out loud. And let me ask you something. And please answer honestly and from your heart. What happens if you get sick and you can't work anymore? But it's not forever, not something dramatic. Just sick enough that your body says, I need to stop for a while. And what happens to your bills? Your rent, your groceries, and your medications, and your sense of safety. If that questions make your chest tighten even a little, this episode is for you. Because here's the truth that no one prepared us for. Midlife doesn't arrive with relief. It arrives with responsibility and fatigue. And your body is tired, but your expenses didn't get the memo. And that fear, the one that says, I don't know what would happen if I couldn't work, that's not a weakness. That's an awareness. And awareness is the beginning of wisdom. You see, many of us were raised to believe that if we just work hard enough, everything would be okay. So we did. We worked, we sacrificed, and we showed up and we put our dreams on pause. We cared for our children, our partners, our parents, and our workplaces. We became reliable, strong, and capable. And somewhere along the way, being tired became normal. But here's what changed quietly: your body changed, and your energy changed, and your tolerance changed too. And the fear isn't about money alone. The fear is this: if I stop, everything will collapse. And seize, that is a heavy way to live. And let me say something gently but clearly. You are not wrong for being afraid. And you are not dramatic. And you are not negative. You are responding to a system that expects women to keep going, even when your body are asking for mercy. Because many women I speak to don't say, I want to be rich. They say like this: I just want to be okay if something happens, and I want stability. And I don't want to panic every time I feel pain. And I don't want to rely on my children. I want my dignity. And that word, dignity, it matters so much in this season because you didn't give your life away just to end up afraid. And let's talk about the part we don't say out loud enough. It's not that we don't love our children. We do. But there's something deeply uncomfortable about imagining yourself needing to ask them to help, not because they wouldn't help you, but because you don't want to become a burden. You want a choice, and you want independence, and you want respect too, including self respect. That desire is not selfish, it's earned. And then there's this layer, the one we joke about but don't really a joke about. The technology, the computer age, and everything is digital now. And maybe no one has ever said this to you kindly. So let me say it. Feeling behind in a fast changing world does not mean you are incapable. It means the world changed faster than anyone thought to adapt. And especially after years of caregiving and survival, you didn't fall behind because you were lazy. You were busy holding everything together. And now the pressure feels like this: I don't have time to make mistake anymore. And that belief alone keeps so many women frozen. Because when you're younger, mistakes feels recoverable. And in midlife, mistake feels expensive financially, emotionally, and physically. So instead of trying, you hold still and you stay where you are and you tell yourself, I'll just keep going. And even though your body is whispering, I can't do this forever, let me pause here and say something important. If you ever felt guilty for still having dreams, travel, rest, freedom, or even a beautiful life, please release that guilt. Because dreams don't expire at a certain age, they just get quieter when survival gets loud. So, wanting more ease doesn't mean you're ungrateful. It means you're living up to know what constant strains cost. And here's the part I want you to hear deeply. This podcast is not here to tell you to quit your job. And it's not here to sell you overnight success. And it's not here to promise easy money. But it's here to ask better questions. Questions like, what would it look like to build stability slowly? And what would it mean to create income that doesn't depend entirely on your physical strength? And what would it feel like to rest without fear? Here, we are allowed to think about these things without panic. And you are allowed to be curious without committing. And you are allowed to say, I don't know yet, but I want to protect myself. That's not fear talking, that's a self respect. And let me share something personal with you. There are seasons in my life when working harder felt like the only options. So, what I did, I kept going. And I told myself rest could be wait. And I believe it would be easier then. But later came, and my body was tired before my dreams were finished. And I realized something that changed me. Hard work alone doesn't equal safety, but preparation does. And preparation doesn't have to be loud or rushed. It can be quiet, intentional, and gentle. Because these seasons of life isn't asking you to become someone new. It's asking you to become more protective of yourself, to stop pretending that exhaustion is normal, and to stop shaming yourself for wanting security, and to stop believing that dignity and stability are too much to ask for. They are not. They are necessary. So, if today's all you do is admit, I'm scared of what happens if I can't work, that is not a failure. That is honesty. And honesty is where change begins. In the coming episode, we're going to talk about why working harder stop working at a certain point, and why your body matters in financial conversations, and why stability comes before passion in midlife, and how to think about income and purpose without pressure or shame. Not fast, not all at once, in one conversation at a time. And for now, I want you to take deep breath here, not to calm you down, but to make space. Because you are not behind and you are not weak. You are awake. And awakening often begins with a questions like this one. What happens if I can keep going the way I am? That question is in the end. It's the beginning of finding another way. Thank you for being here today. If you enjoyed this conversation, follow the shows and share it with a woman who needs it. And if you have a story or topic in your heart, reach out. This space is open.